King Juan Carlos. Servant leader. For me, no modern-day leader embodies the ideals of a servant leader like my friend King Juan Carlos, who had power thrust upon him. Despite doubters and naysayers, he successfully and peacefully led Spain from the clutches of Franco's authoritarian regime to the freedoms of democracy. King Juan Carlos achieved what few thought possible because he understood when to embrace his power, how to humbly wield it in service to his country and its people, and how, when the time came, to let it go. Juan Carlos's father, Juan de Borbón y Battenberg, Count of Barcelona, known as Don Juan, was third in line for the throne of the Bourbon dynasty. He only became heir when his two older brothers renounced their and their children's claims. For health reasons, Don Juan found himself up against the dictator Francisco Franco, who assumed power and control over the state after he emerged victorious from the Spanish Civil War. In 1939, the dictator had no plans to relinquish his control and return power to the monarchy. He announced that he would remain head of state until he either died or renounced power. Growing up, the young Juan Carlos held a clear and secret vision: to lead Spain toward democracy. But he understood that if he was to fulfill his purpose as Spain's future king, he would have to have Franco's backing. So he publicly went along with Franco's policies. But Juan Carlos surprised many when, a mere 2 days after Franco's death and as a newly named king, he made it clear that he had no intention of continuing the dictator's regime, nor of abusing his power as Franco had. His plan was to place Spain back on a path toward democracy, even though it meant limiting his own power. On February 23, 1981, he faced down a right-wing military coup, and his television address to the citizens of Spain made him a hero to his people. King Juan Carlos is largely credited with Spain's peaceful transition to democracy. For 39 years, he reigned as a popular figure in the Spanish and international communities. But he is a human being who makes mistakes, too, and recent years saw a decline in his popularity. So, in yet another display of understanding, and again in service to what is best for Spain, King Juan Carlos chose to step aside and allow his son, Felipe, to become the new king. While King Felipe's reign has just begun, it would appear that he intends to carry on his father's philosophy. King Juan Carlos could have kept power for himself until he died. But he didn't. He was driven by his desire and his responsibility to serve Spain and its people. This above all, above even his own personal desires, was his duty. As José María Aznar, the Prime Minister of Spain from 1996 to 2004, wrote in an article for the Wall Street Journal, "We shall not forget his statesman's vision, his generosity and his personal commitment to ensuring our freedom. We shall not forget that he, before anyone else, came up with the idea of being the king of a country of free citizens rather than meek subjects. We shall not forget that the desire for harmony was encouraged and sustained by the monarchy, a bastion against all who opposed such a longing." 8. Vision, generosity, personal commitment. These are the qualities that define servant leaders. Those rare individuals who are driven by a desire to make the lives of the people they lead, and the world they live in, better. We live in perilous and uncertain times. Times that need more servant leaders like King Juan Carlos who can put aside their egoistic desires to gain riches and power, to place the needs of the people as their highest priority.